So, and also because there's a research and development department and the luxury to experiment and research some of these approaches, because I think it's already very clear and evident there's no set guidelines and proven golden recipes for this. Maarten Brinkerink came, and I don't know if he brought the cold, and I hope maybe it was not that different there, but I think it's very interesting to talk. We talked about one aspect of European projects, and I mentioned Europeana, and we'll talk later on in the workshops when we're talking about methodologies and the impacted value probably about projects like this inevitably again. But I asked Maarten to tell us a little bit more about the experience of working with this. And I think with another hat on, he's very interested in open knowledge models. So he's also helping out with the Wikimedia workshop on the edit tomorrow for those of you who are sharing it and joining us tomorrow at the Kelvin Grove. So I'll pass on to him.
Thank you, and thanks for having me over. Yeah, what I would like to do during my presentation is just to show you a few types of crowdsourcing from my experience in the audiovisual domain. And I'm not showing these to give you an example that is perfect. It's just to illustrate what crowdsourcing can mean for different types of activities that belong to cultural heritage and collections and organizations. And of course I do have some of my favorites, but not everything is perfect, and feel free to delve into that during the questions after my presentation. So this is the institution where I work. This is the Netherlands Institute for Sound and Vision, which is the National Audiovisual Archive in the Netherlands. And it is the host of an enormous collection of audiovisual works. And we present ourselves as a cultural historical organization that collects, preserves, and makes available or opens up our audiovisual heritage for different types of users. This is a collection of 1 million hours of audiovisual material. In our own country, we are mostly known as being the broadcast archive because we do hold all of the material from the public broadcasters in the Netherlands, but our collection is much more diverse than that. We hold amateur film footage, we hold historical newsreel collections, we hold modern animation films, documentaries, all kinds of audiovisual works, but also photographs that depict the production process of the public broadcasting service, record collections, field recording collections. So it's a very diverse collection and very substantial. And what that brings about is that we need to deal with that in very specific ways, because as you can imagine, holding such a collection that is so enormous and so diverse brings about all kinds of challenges. So the department where I work, research and development, tries to come up with strategies that utilize new technology, new things that are happening in society to make the way that we deal with our collection more smart, connected and open. These are like, this is like our motto when we work. Crowdsourcing is one part of that strategy of dealing with this collection in an intelligent way. And assumptions that we have for this, and that are also assumptions for this talk, is that the idea that users and collections through digitization and through online activities can now share the same information place is really this win-win situation that was also referred to in the introduction of today. And that brings about the opportunity to create added value from crowdsourcing activities. So I'm also using the typology of crowdsourcing from my colleague Johan Omen and Laura Arroyo from the VU University in Amsterdam, because this just offers a way of distinguishing different types of crowdsourcing. This is not the way to distinguish it, but it's just one guideline that I use for this talk. So my first example will deal with tagging and classification, and this is about the gathering of descriptive metadata, which is also sometimes referred to as social tagging. So this is a type of crowdsourcing where we did a few projects ourselves with technology that we also developed in our department. That allows for what we call creating video labeling games. The idea here is that we take a specific part from our collection, often in collaboration with a broadcaster, and we try to create a crowdsourcing activity around that small collection or small subset in the form of a game. In the latest example that we did with this technology, we zoomed in on a nature series that is quite popular in the Netherlands. And this is what we call, or what the crowdsourcing theory calls a game with a purpose. Often these games, where the concept comes from Louis van Aan, they combine the motivations of a game with a gathering of information that is descriptive. And how it works is that people are able to view the video on a website and are asked to describe what they hear and see by entering descriptive tags during while they are watching the video. And they are able to score points through two ways. One is that they can get points when they match a tag entry from another player, because it's a multiplayer game. And that matching has to happen within a window, within a time frame of 10 seconds. So it's really about entering tags that do not describe the video as a whole on the item level, but they describe that moment in time of the video. And that's also very much the added value of the information that is gathered through this game, because it allows us to have descriptive information about the video on a much more granular level than we normally have within our own catalog, where items are often only described on the level of a title. And the other way that people are able to score tags is when they utilize a term that is existing in one of our controlled vocabularies. For instance, place names, or in this case also species that can be described. So they get added bonus points for using these controlled vocabulary tags. With this latest instance of the game, we were able to gather 240,000 of these tags, where more than half of them were also matched. So they were confirmed by another user. And about 10% of that matched corpus of tags also corresponded with controlled vocabulary tags. This was done by about 6,000 users. So again, here, what is often the case, you have a few super taggers or super contributors that contribute the majority of the tags, but we were also able to draw quite a substantial user base for this game with 6,000 players. And when we started researching the results of this, we also found that through search experiments, utilizing these tags provided better recall than just using the information in our catalog. So it's also just when you apply it as an aid to search the collection, people are able to retrieve more relevant results than when just using the catalog descriptions. The second example that I want to show is about collection acquisition, and this is about the pursuit of obtaining additional objects for a specific collection. Here we did something that's quite similar to a project that was run in the UK. What we did is we took a very not often highlighted collection that we have of field recordings from the Netherlands that were recorded for the sole purpose of being source material for radio plays. So traditionally these recordings have been used to illustrate specific situations, crowds of people, specific places, the sound of a bell tower at a certain location, stuff like that. Since this collection is not being used for that purpose anymore in the recent times, we thought that would be an interesting collection to give new life to in this project. So what we did is we made this collection available through the SoundCloud platform, which allows for sharing the audio in a high quality and also using a permissive license that indicates that people can reuse these sounds. And then we created our own website on top of that creates a map visualization of this collection, indicating where these recordings were taken. And then also asking the crowd to contribute sounds to fill spots on the map or within certain periods to get a more representative sound map of the Netherlands together as a collaborative effort. And to support that, we had functionality on the website that allowed for people to upload material, but we also had a mobile app that allowed people to record on site and then instantly upload to the project. What came out of that project was a little bit of a mix in terms of how successful we could call this project. Because on the one hand, we had set as a goal for ourselves that we wanted to double the collection. So we had contributed about 2,000 sound recordings, but we only managed to crowdsource 500 new field recordings. However, a lot of other activity resulted from this project that we had not expected. So one thing that happened was that because we were using these permissive licenses that allowed for reuse in other projects, the material was being reused on Wikipedia. And I think about 160 articles were created that used these sounds as an illustration. So that was something we didn't expect, but also came out of this project because of the way we had set that up. And also people created applications that use these sounds in a more sort of creative way. So one example was Mix from the Netherlands, which was an app that created a soundboard using these field recordings where people could use this interface to combine these sounds into a new remix, so to say. The third type of crowdsourcing is contextualization, which refers to the combining of different information sources together to create more or new knowledge. This is a project where we had been developing a media sharing platform since 2010, where we wanted to take one of our newly digitized collections of newsreel footage and really provide that to the public in a sort of ultimately open fashion. We wanted people to be able to download this material, to be allowed to reuse that in whatever way they saw fit, also for commercial purposes. And to support that, we needed to build this platform that created the technical infrastructure to allow that. So we had to build something using open source software that supported all these different types of technology that make it possible for this collection to be reused. And since we've been doing that, we are sharing 4,000 of these newsreels in this platform. And one of the interesting things that happened after being online with this platform for a year was that we were approached by the Wikimedia chapter in the Netherlands, the entity that brings together volunteers who work on Wikimedia projects, because they shared their interest in using this collection within Wikimedia projects, and most specifically within Wikipedia. So they asked if they could use our technical infrastructure to copy that material to the media repository that Wikimedia projects use, which is called Wikimedia Commons. And this is a repository with pictures, sounds, videos that hosts all of the material that you can see on a Wikipedia article that isn't the textual content. The Wikimedia Foundation, which is the organization behind the Wikimedia projects, has a policy that they want everything that they offer through their projects to live on their own servers. So they asked if they could copy the material that we were providing on this Open Images platform to this repository of them. And because in this repository, most of the material that is being used is of the still image media type, our contribution of video material was very substantial, because still this is about 8% of the video that is available for reuse in Wikimedia projects, which is kind of silly when you think about how small we are in the world. This is a mix of material that we were able to provide under an open license, or where copyright has already expired. And what started happening is, after this material was available in this repository, it actually started ending up in Wikipedia articles. So for instance, this is one of the most viewed articles, where it's about Mother's Day. And here a newsreel from our collection is used to illustrate the international history and tradition of this celebration, or of this holiday. So this is a form of this contextualization that I was referring to, where something from our collection ends up in a larger story or a larger type of information. And the interesting thing is that this started actually happening quite a lot, because 40% of the collection that is available is actually being reused in Wikipedia articles. And in total, there are 4,000 articles reusing this archive material from our collection. And on a monthly basis, this is now gathering about 4 million views. This means the articles that use our material are being viewed 4 million times when you count that all up. So these 4,000 articles together attract this traffic. And since this collection has been available, if you add up all of these page views, we've gathered on these articles 160 million page views. So this also shows something about what happens when material is available for reuse in other contexts than only your institutional website. Because I would assume that nobody in this room attracts that much traffic on their own institutional website. I can at least be very modest and say that our institutional website does not attract this type of traffic. And to even put that a little bit more in a perspective, we were doing this with 4,000 newsreel items. In the context of our collection that I said contains 1 million hours of audiovisual material, that's nothing. It's a very tiny fraction of our entire collection. So the potential of this contextualization is enormous. Not only in terms of how much the material gets reused, but also in terms of the public reach that you can attain through this. Maria, how am I doing on time?
Yeah, 1 second. 1 second, so you could wrap up.
Yeah, what I think is best to do is to go to my final slides. When you think about this typology of crowdsourcing, it's important to think about also what the way your organization, how your organization is organized in terms of dealing with the collection, and how this corresponds to how you could utilize crowdsourcing in that. Because it's very important for crowdsourcing projects to determine what you want to accomplish with it and how that fits within the mission and the role of your institution. But also don't think about crowdsourcing as being a substitution of activities that normally would be done by the staff of your institution. Because as you've maybe seen, hopefully seen in some of the examples that I've shown, sometimes results that come are also unexpected and are something that you couldn't accomplish within your institutional setting. So also think about what you can accomplish by not doing something as an institution, but allowing the crowd to do so. And I think with that, I will wrap up. Thank you.